Okay, well, welcome everybody. This is Barney Kuntze. We're up for another episode of a bonus coaching call, and I'm the founder and creator of the YLSS Summit and also a gold working on platinum leader in Young Living essential oils. I feel like I've been saying that for too long, but I will also say that you got to walk your own journey and your own path and just keep building out success and how it looks for you. So thanks for joining in tonight live. If you're on with us, it's absolutely, I'm excited for tonight's call. And I do say that pretty much on every call, but I have to be honest, I genuinely am excited to share this with you guys because tonight's guest, Monty Moran, am I pronouncing your name correctly, Monty?
Yep, Moran.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, cool. So welcome, and you are from Minnesota, right?
Correct.
Cool. So we're going to get into some great, I feel like we're going to have a great chat. Every time I talk with Monty, we have a great call, a great chat. And remember that these calls are free. We post them up on our YouTube channel. Just put in YouTube. You can go to YLSS Summit, and it'll show up. But then also on just in the web, you can go to YLSSSummit.com. So at the time of the recording, we're gearing up. We're in the 8-week countdown now for the 3rd annual summit. And my goal and hopes for this year's event is that we'll actually cross over the 100,000 mark of people that have been impacted in the YLSS Summit. Between the last 2 years, has been over 45,000 people, and Monty has been generous enough to share his information and his wisdom and passion in the last 2 years, and in his presentation. So we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight, and then also some of maybe what he's going to be sharing this year in this year's summit as well. So Monty, again, welcome, and I'd love for you to just share with everybody listening live and on the call later, just kind of if they don't know who you are, because there was at one point, believe it or not, with how famous and cool you are, I didn't know who Monty Moran was. I was like, I don't know who this guy is. So just enlighten us what your story with Young Living, kind of, how you got started, where you are, and then we can get into your presentations.
So actually, my story is fascinating because back in college, I'm not going to say how many decades ago that was, but I was approached by a very well-known network marketing company. I loved the idea, but I didn't like the reality that you had to have a huge inventory in order to make a sale, because it wasn't MLM, but it was more like direct sales because you had to sell your stuff.
Right.
Being a college kid that moved every 6 months, forget about it. It's not going to work. But that was always on the back burner because I loved the idea of network marketing, how that worked. I looked at a few different ones. I tried a few different ones. Some that looked like a slam dunk. I never made any money. 2010, I started with Young Living. Thanks to Jen Springer. She got me into it.
Awesome.
And I made a commission check my first month. I think I had 6 people and have ever since then. So it's I knew this would work. I just needed to find the right one, the right company to get behind.
Right.
Done.
Cool.
I worked my way up to silver, and then we were in Fargo. We ended up figuring out that we were in a moldy house. We were like frogs in boiling water. We didn't know about it until things got bad.
It was getting a little warm in there.
Within 9 months, I think. And then eventually, we just moved to Minnesota. We're like, we got to do this. We got to go to Minneapolis.
Cool.
We need to get out. And then, here's the fascinating thing about network marketing, too, is that so during that time, we were both sick on different levels in different ways. And even during that time, we still earned commission checks from Young Living, even though we could only work maybe 1 to 5 hours a week max.
Yeah.
That's all I used to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's fantastic how this works.
Yeah. Were you in personal training or in fitness in some kind?
Yeah.
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 So
long time.
Long time?
25 plus years.
Oh, wow. So you started training when you were what, 5 years old?
That's good.
Yeah. Let's slide that in there.
No, I had a college job when I did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Different. But.
Yeah. Well, some of the the most notable story I would say with Adam Green, I get asked a lot. People have been, oh, you're from Canada, oh, are you in the green team? I'm like, no, we're on the other side of the country. And but you're like, oh, you're in fitness. Are you sure you're not in the green team? And it's just funny because I know Adam's story is very famous, or has just been shared a lot with his story that he was in personal training, and that's how he kind of got started, was looking at it, and he was working full time, could have made 30, maybe 40 grand if he really worked it in a full time job. And me as a fitness business owner, there was months where I was working and still wasn't getting paid, not because I wasn't working, what I was doing wasn't creating a profit, but the money was getting eaten up by the operating expenses of the gym. And
I know that story.
yeah. And so what's cool about it, like you're like personal training and fitness and like practitioners and therapists and really just that encompasses a lot, are the old story of the you kill. As harsh as that kind of sounds, if you don't work or don't do that session or that hour, you don't get paid. And I would just kind of add to that what you shared is that for us, we had that many times where we were traveling for 6 weeks one time, and it was really cool. Like I think we were like maybe 1 or 2 hours. We were still texting with our team and staying in contact with them, but our check actually grew. And it's cool because you don't want to sit back and take advantage of that because that'll eventually catch up with you. But to be able to have that support, I think that some people when they're getting started, that's the dream, and you get close to it to get that recurring revenue or that residual revenue or income, but you still have to keep working it, right? You can't just sit back.
You got to keep. I don't even know how you want to explain it, but it's like you got to keep turning the wheels.
Yeah.
Because you don't. It's like pedaling a bicycle. Like you can coast for a long time, but eventually you got to start pedaling again.
That's right. Yeah. So that was your story with how you got started. So you're at silver working on gold. And
right.
So what do you remember the first topic of what you presented on in 2015, way back 2 years ago? It was the networking. How to be better at networking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it was about being social, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Now I remember that one. I'm biased, but that was a good one too because I think when I really took off was when I started doing networking groups like BNI. There's some other like spin-offs. So I did quite a few. I made BNI I don't know what to say, but
yeah.
I used it. I used it
full
potential. BNI was I had a group, and I found first thing you have to find the right group that feels good and you can vibe for people.
Right.
Because you're not selling to the group, you're selling to the group's entire 250 people that they know. Which,
right.
If it's 10 people, that's a huge audience. That's 2,500 people. You always tell them listen for things that might cue you to speak up and say, hey, I know somebody that does this, or might want to talk to Monty about something like that.
Right.
But there's advantages where you can actually sub for other groups. So I had my group, and I think I subbed for 3 or 4 other groups. I just blew it up like fire. It got to the point where people grabbed me up by the shirt sleeve and going, "Can you sign me up?" And I got to the point where it was sometime, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like that. So now that we're on the mend, I'm looking to get back into that because that's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, well, and before you go too much further, BNI, I'm a big acronym or abbreviation guy. I always get those two mixed up. But somebody's just asking what BNI is. I think it was Linda, and it's Business Networking International, right? So it's an organization that is location specific, usually cities or regions that have let's just say in Toronto there will be a BNI chapter. And they'll have specific, there'll be, in Toronto, there'll probably many chapters. And so just business networking groups they try to focus on different providers, different business owners within a certain area. And then obviously you want to get into that BNI group so that you can get in as the fitness person or the oils person and start to network with all those business owners that have, as you were saying, depends on their customer base or their size. Like me at our gym, we have an active reach of 500 to 600 people between our members and clients, right?
Yeah, and with BNI, it's first of all look at all the chapters. Right now, I'm on the internet and I'm looking at all BNI chapters and I'm thinking, all right, so is there anybody who's doing Young Living?
Right.
If there's not, I'm in. Then I can fill out the group and see if it's right. Because when they do this, if I get in as a Young Living person, there cannot be another Young Living person in there.
Right.
And even if it's a massage therapist is pushing a massage therapy business, but they're also in Young Living, I've got the power to like talk about Young Living. They don't.
Right.
So it's awesome.
Yeah, that's
cool.
But
you got to watch a few things because there's some groups that don't understand network marketing, and so if you're the only one in the group, you might be like a jaybird walking down the street. Like you might just get ran over and not make it. And then there's also some groups that have a whole bunch of network marketing / direct sales kind of people, and you really have to make friends and love them, even if you like want to pretend to love them, because when you do that, they'll be like your best referrals because they think that you're on your team.
Right.
And I could give examples, but it's one of those things where if somebody is marketing something that's kind of similar, I'll look at different products that we have that they can't do, that they can't compete with.
Right.
Obviously, the oils, Mary Kay and cosmetics, probably don't want to rub nickels on that one, but just use common sense.
Right. Yeah. So basically, you get in, and there's like essentially like exclusivity, right?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. So that is this right? Can you see this on your? I think I made
this
I can
see.
A little too big now. But yeah, right there. So that's BNI. So that's something that you might want to look into. See if you can find a local chapter and join up with it. Now, there's a cost. Is there a cost to that? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's like around $500-600 in that range for. Okay. I think it's a year or 2 years. Maybe it's a year.
Okay.
I know the price just jumped up 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
But if you make it work, it's worth it.
Right.
Also, cool. Maybe I should tell you this too, Barney, is that if someone's looking for these kind of networking groups, is also when you're doing a search for BNI, is search for BNI related groups.
Right.
So I can't remember the other names, but there's all kinds of other names that they're not BNI, but they have their own structure like that.
Right.
So it's not just limited to that group.
Right. Well, then there's the local chamber of commerce or Lions clubs or kind of different.
Yeah, I'm looking at those groups too.
You are a part of those groups too?
No, I'm looking though because I want the right feel. I want to make sure that I'm everywhere.
Make sure it's a good fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So last year, your actually, I was going to look at this for a second. Do you remember what your topic was last year? I'm feeling kind of embarrassed, actually. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Last year, I talked about diamond factory training.
Oh, right. Yeah, so why don't you tell us about that, in case anybody doesn't know how that works or what it is.
So let's do the backstory now, because I think that's probably the most interesting part.
Yeah.
So the backstory is that when me and Jen were sick with mold and the repercussions of that, we thought, all right, well, this is a chance for us to, sit back and go, what do we need to do to develop an infrastructure so that once we get going again, we can start flying? And one of the main things was, and you get this too, Barney, it's what are the biggest things that are a time suck in your life? Right. One is, even though you love to do it, a lot of new people have the same questions, like how do you do Essential Rewards, how do you do YLSS, how do you do an expo, how do you do this, how do you do that,
right?
How do you enroll somebody?
Yeah.
And so we thought if we could put together a training site where it had the same message, because sometimes you get somebody to ask you about PV Assist last week, and then you get the same question from somebody else this week, and then you answer that probably in more depth than you did with the person last week, and you think back and go, man, I forgot I should have told them this, I should have told them that. So we thought if we could do a consistent message, then it's something where we can just refer people to, and here's the basic information, and then we grew it into some more advanced stuff. We took all the Monday night calls from 2013, even Mary Young's call.
Yeah,
it's a great call. It's 2 hours. After awesome. The first hour, Gary walks in and asks Mary, "Who are you talking to?" Mary? She's like, "Well, Terrence Springer and 1,000 of our distributors," and of course then he just put on a stage presence, and then he got on.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
So all the Monday night calls are on there, and then we just split it up into two things. It's a free membership and a paid membership, and the paid membership is just a one-time payment. I think right now it's only $79, but we need to bring it back up to the original price, because we just did a blowout after the convention just to
Yeah.
give people a chance to try it.
Yeah.
Normally it's $137, but it's just a one-time deal.
Okay.
But with the Diamond Factory and the Diamond Premium members, what they call them, then you get the more advanced training. So obviously, somebody who is just starting out, you don't want the advanced training about, conflict resolution or, some of the more advanced things that come up as a, like an executive or a silver would run into, because, we always run into like some sort of issues.
Yeah.
And we've also decided that with the Monday night calls is that we'll do the webinar version and provide that for the Diamond Premium members, and then just rip the audio for anybody who's just a free member and they just want to listen to the call.
Right. That's cool.
And it's so easy. I mean, it's like a simple site. If you want to be a free member, you just use an email and create a password, done.
Okay, that's cool. So diamondfactorysystem.com, people can go check that out.
Diamondfactorytraining.com.
Oh, what's the factory system?
Okay, so that's the confusing part too, is that, so we use Diamond Factory Training for that basic thing that I just talked about, the training.
Yes, that's right.
Diamond Factory System is created by a group for us that basically covers the marketing side. And so we have CRM, a contact manager. We have landing pages. Some are done for you.
Yeah.
We have landing pages where they're set up, but maybe you want your own voice as far as like the auto emails, that you can write your own. You can just use the templates for the ones that are done for you.
Yeah.
And welcome videos, all kinds of different kind of videos. Things for people who are looking for just a business and they don't really, honestly, this is true. And Jen's actually had a few calls this week about people that she's been prospecting, and she gets them on the phone and they're like, I understand network marketing. I'm in. I want to do this. I don't know what the company is. I don't know what the products are. I'm not going to ask. Just tell me what to do.
Right.
Which is like totally...
that's cool.
It's like a mind warp for a lot of people because we're so into, fixing people's problems and talk about the products and talk about Young Living. It's like most people don't really give a rip about that kind of stuff. They want to know, are you on my side? Can you show me how to do this? Does this work? That's all I want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that part of the challenge can be my upline, Casey Conrad from Rhode Island, said to me that the way that you're introduced, or the way that people are introduced to the business, is the way that they think they have to do the business in order to be successful. And that has been a challenge for me. I can, with coming from the fitness industry, we get paid and compensated well to be the man or the woman or the go-to person or the expert, the guru, the local, like, fix-your-all everything. Maybe not in every fitness, but when you're looking at, providing a solution for people, whether it be weight loss or putting on muscle or getting out of pain or whatever it may be, that mindset of being able to provide that for people as a solution. And this is just from my own experience, but it depends on what vocation you come from. If other people, when you're listening to this and thinking, well, I'm in the healthcare or I'm in a different type of industry, it takes a different mindset switch to get to that point. But it's cool when you start having people approaching you like that, because when you really look at it from like a big bird's eye view, or a more holistic approach, or global view per se, that there are people out there that are actively searching and seeking out opportunities that are they just want to earn income. They want to build ancillary revenue streams, or have multiple streams of revenue, even if they're not going to crush it. Even if you're not going to go to Royal Crown Diamond, but some people say, hey, like another $1,000 a month, like, would that change your life? Most people are like, heck yeah, like, let's do it.
That's a nice car payment.
That's right. Yeah, or extra debt payment, or whatever it is, right? And like Jim Rohn says,
I'm like sweating still after my CrossFit workout.
I am, because I just had a big meal with my whole family. We had 4 or 5 birthdays in our family in July, so we did that. So I'm sweating from my big meal.
sweating while you eat. Yeah, I used to be like that.
No,
so
but
anyways, back into that, it's I think with the FDA crackdown and all the compliance, I think that was like the biggest blessing ever, because it took the pressure off of people to get certifications, get degrees, get any kind of knowledge they can to be, quote, the expert.
Right.
Because a lot of people are like, well, I'll get started once I understand everything. that is never going to work.
Right.
And, I mean, some people can. I mean, Jen did it. She took off like a jackrabbit because she wanted to get out of corporate life, and she like looked at like back then the equivalent of gold in 6 months.
Yeah.
But I mean, she did expos only because she did that kind of stuff with her mom and her grandma with antiques.
Right.
And and then she, because she's so into information and detail, like her classes, she would like verbatim recite paragraphs of the EDR. Well, who was going to do that?
Jen Springer.
You would do that. I mean, she admits, like, that's how we did it.
Yeah.
And who's going to follow your footsteps if you're going to do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, right.
Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Or like super green people, they're like, okay, give me 6 months, I'll study it, and then I'll do it.
And then I'll see.
Well, that's 6 months. That's like, that could be 2 or 3 ranks right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's a blessing that we had the crackdown. Now we can actually just talk about who we are, sell ourselves, and then, make sure that when they join you, they're joining you. They're not joining Young Living. They're not joining the products. I think it makes the family tighter, and it makes it not so much product driven, but more like life goal driven. Like,
opportunity driven.
That I can do to improve my life.
Right. Well, and what I was going to say before, I think I didn't finish my thought, which is a common occurrence, is that when you look at it from like a bigger perspective, like maybe, from a holistic perspective or just a bird's eye view, and there's people that are out there that are actively searching right now that are looking to open a franchise, they're looking to invest in real estate, they're looking to start, a small or part-time or medium, well, not part-time, a small-time or full-time opportunity, or they want to get out of where they are now to get over, so they just have to see it. And I go back to Jim Rohn's training that building your network marketing business. There's so much really amazing little nuggets, like building the bridge for people, getting them where they are and where they want to be, and that's really cool.
He's fantastic. Yeah, it's like do your day job to. What was it like? Build your like.
Yeah, you want to work your day job.
Do your network marketing job to like build your legacy.
Yeah, your wealth. So when you build your part-time, that you're working full-time for your living, and then you make your part-time job or your part-time opportunity to build your wealth.
Right. You're right, though. I mean, a lot of people are looking for additional income, and they'll do whatever it takes, whether it's like waiting tables, getting into real estate, trying to find some sort of franchise opportunity, which is like all really expensive to get into.
Yeah, I know.
And living inside.
Yeah.
It's like one of the cheapest ones you could ever get into.
Yeah. Well, and I know it's been said many times before that is part of the challenge too, is that people, they just buy their kit, they get ready to rock and roll, and it's easy to not take it seriously. Like for me, when we opened the gym, I borrowed $50,000 private loan from my previous employers. I went in and gave my resignation, and they said, "Well, how are you gonna fund the gym? Like, where are you gonna get the money?" I'm like, I don't know. Like, the money's out there somewhere. Like, I'm gonna get it. And they're just like that's kind of crazy. I'm like, well, I was like totally in my Napoleon Hill think and grow rich mode. And after that, in that appointment, they handed me a $50,000 check and said, "Here you go, ready to start." And I only say that because when I had that $50,000 check, I was like, wow, like this is awesome. This is $50,000. But you could imagine, or I'd like to encourage you to imagine the fire that was burning under my backside and under my bed at night when I slept to get up and drive that business and make it successful, and made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I still paid that $50,000 back in 3 years. And in hindsight, I probably should have did it over 6 years. But the point is that that's $50,000. And so when we start our Young Living business, or you get a kit and then you decide down the road you want to start, that $160 for you guys in the States, $200 for us in Canada, it's easy to kind of take that for granted. And so what are your thoughts on that? Like, how can you, encourage people to get beyond that from a mindset standpoint?
We already covered this like 2 years ago. So with the Diamond Factory system and the Live Green, Earn Green, that whole webpage, when people opt in, first of all, Jen talks about, like your problems or the problems as a whole. You opt in and you get like a welcome page like to the team, I do an income opportunity thing. And then when it gets into the products, here's what we do, because we want to make it so that people feel like they're part of something, because everybody wants to be a part of something.
Yeah.
But when we get to the products, is we found out, I mean, you know this too, is to start a business with only 160 to 200 bucks. How can you take that serious?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But and on the other hand, then you also have these people who think that that's really expensive.
Yeah.
Like I will, they want maybe they don't want to do the business, but they want a wholesale account so they get the discount. But 160 to 200 bucks is expensive. Well, hold on. Let's turn the table. Let's make 3 packages where the top package is $1,000, just like a lot of the other companies will do, and then the middle package is like $500, and then the bottom package is one of the starter kits.
Right.
So then it's like a total mindset. Like they flip their minds. Like, well, if I'm going to be the cheapskate, then I'll just get the starter kit.
Right.
But if I want to like really do this and do this like right, then I'll do the $1,000 kit, and I'll be like totally in, and I get a chance to see a good spread of like all the products.
Right.
So that's what we've done. Because then it gives people the option and actually shows them, so who's serious and who is just kicking the tires.
Right. Yeah, and at the end of the day, if the person metaphorically is kicking the tires and they're just like, hey, I just want the kit, that's cool. I mean, that's really, for the most part, that's how the majority of people are starting anyways when it comes to what's actually promoted. So you're doing, so that $1,000 kit, you're just giving them a selection of products that they're then purchasing, right? Because there's not, like, you can't...
Yeah, so we actually made a PDF that's like a shopping list. And half the time that we'll walk through it with them, because it's not obvious that when you enroll the little button that says continue shopping, it's not easy to find.
Right.
So we have to kind of like walk them through that. But I mean, they could print off a list and they can go shopping.
Right.
And we just like, could be the soaps, the shampoos, the minks, the zings, and some of the bars, the whole gamut. Like it's, try a little bit of everything. And
yeah.
And it's like, not just oils.
It's 21 hours.
And that's the time. It's 21 hours. I always, that happens in every call. I think I'm going to turn that thing off, and it always turns on. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. I mean, that's really a great way to get people to get started. And really, there's people out there that you put 3 options in front of them, regardless of how much money. It's been psychologically proven that through sales, because I've had a lot of sales training, even though you're not selling or pushing a bunch of stuff on them, you're presenting people with what you're saying with options. And people like to have options. We have different starter kit options, but this then gives them the opportunity to say, okay, if I have 1, 2, or 3, there's a percentage of people that are always going to take the higher ticket or the highest ticket item, regardless of how much it is, because they just want they want the best. They want the most expensive, because that usually means it's the best. Maybe it's not always the best, but in this case, we all know that it is. And it's their decision, right? They probably would do that on their own anyways, and then you've really empowered them to get a head start and really take it seriously. I mean, you start looking at getting 50, 100, or 200 enrollments in a month. Right now, where it's a little slower for us right now, we're averaging about 50 to 70, but we used to be about 80 to 120. And we'd certainly want to keep seeing that growing, but I think that that's pretty decent. But you look at, okay, so if everybody's buying a kit at 100 PV, let's just take 50, that's 5,000. But if everybody was buying $1,000 worth of PV and you've got 50 people, you're growing by 50,000.
It's huge.
Wait. My math off? 5,000, right? No, that's not even right. Yeah, it is 5,000. Wow, I'm usually like really sharp with my math, but yeah. But that's pretty cool compared to the 500. I mean, the 500 still cool, but you're getting that much more.
Plus, you're attracting more quality people that might be looking at business, because money is not an issue.
Right.
Like $1,000, $500. To be able to do a $300 PV every month, not an issue. If you can throw down 1,000 and get started, not an issue. And then also, where was I going with this?
For the record, I was right.
Going back, you were talking about people will do what they did when they started.
Right.
What they did 1,000 when they started, they're going to talk about other people insisting that they do 1,000 when they start.
Right.
And then it just perpetuates.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that then becomes more duplicable, or that's what they see monkey do, and not calling you monkey or anybody else, but that's the saying, right? And the math was right. It was 50,000. So if you have 50 people at 100, that's 5,000, because only 5 people at 100 would be 500. So that'd be 5,000 in growth, which is cool, and that's how we were averaging about 5 to 10,000 a month in growth. And but take that all, like, this is just perfect math. Is it probable? I mean, it is possible. It might not be probable that every person will just convert to the 1,000, but it is possible. That's by 50,000. That means if they maintained that same amount, and even if half of them didn't order that same amount the next month and did even 200 or 300, it changes a lot. So that's just like that one thing right there, that simple idea and properly implemented and executed, can make a big difference to the positioning of the value of the products and the opportunity to give more people those options. And the more often that people are presented those options, they'll only exercise the options that they're given. So if they're never given that option, they're never going to take it, right?
Right. Plus, you're working on maximizing what the fast start bonus is about. It's not just about people getting starter kits. It's about people getting starter kits plus what else do they want to buy?
Right.
Because it all adds up into the 25%.
Yeah. So, which is really good now. And obviously, the cap is 800. The 25% is going to cap out at 2,500. So it's still cool. But if you could maybe you say 1,000. Now, what is? Do you have any stats on your own personal performance, or like in team wide with you and Jen? How many people, when presented that option, are exercising that? Like, is it 3%, 10%, 5%, or do you have any idea?
I'd be guessing, but it'd be, I think it'd be, right now it'd be a low percent.
A single
like
digit?
5%.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty low right now.
But let's look at it this way. So let's say that you're enrolling, not you personally, but your team is enrolling 100 people, and you get 5%. That's 5,000 right there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good start. And once you kind of do that, then the momentum builds. The more people who get used to the idea of the possibility that somebody could start off with $1,000, things change. It's just like when they used to do the 4-minute mile. It used to be like, that's impossible. And then one person did it. And then all of a sudden, like within a year, it was like a half a dozen people who did it.
Yeah, the Roger Bannister with the 4-minute mile.
Yeah, I was like, so let's try it. Like, see if it's possible. And then when a few people do it, it's like, okay, well, they're doing it, so why can't I do it? It's just a matter of posture and confidence, really.
Yeah, well, that's like in personal training. I've studied with this company called NPE, or Net Profit Explosion, and the sales presentation that they encourage us to use. It's called Auto Closer, and it's really cool. It sounds kind of like kind of sounds a little cheap, like Auto Closer. Like, really, it sounds a little like it gives that stigma of the used car salesman. Pardon me if you're a used car salesman, because not everybody's the same. But that's the common reference. But that auto closer, I didn't really like the sound of it, but when I started utilizing it and doing consultations with clients, when you get to the pricing and packaging, you say, here's I'm ready to get the get started package, the committed, and the totally committed package. So people are already said totally committed, they're ready to go, they're going to go with the top package, which really, from a personal training perspective, is going to serve them better in the long run. And if somebody can't afford it, I mean, don't push it on them, obviously, but it gives them the option, so you present it to the people who are more liable to actually take it up.
Yeah, and you just got to work backwards. Like, don't give them all 3 options, because they'll never make a decision. But if you give them the $1,000 option, or the top package, or whatever top package you decide you want to do, because this isn't like a Young Living thing. It's just something we made up. It's like, let's just do these as different options that are above and beyond what the starter kits are. But so you start with the top package, and then if they balk on it, it's like, well, if that's too much for you, I'm not totally into it, then do the $500 package.
Yeah.
And then just make that uncomfortable pause.
Yeah.
Because then they'll have to make decisions like, well, is it 500 or 1,000?
Yeah.
And if it's like, they're totally broke and they're panhandling on weekends or whatever.
Yeah.
Then say, well, just do the starter kit. It's only like $160 to $200.
Yes.
And also, when we do the starter kits, we don't do the PSK. We do fees. Because
Okay.
we're looking for something that people are going to need to reorder the next month.
The consumables. Yeah. So that was my next question. I was going to ask you, what is the percentage of people, or I'd see this is where like I'm totally not agreeing, but I'm like, where's the percentage? And then maybe this is my red personality, but you thinking about the like the follow up. So you get somebody that has 1,000. Um, have you ever presented the opportunity for them to say, hey, for 1,000, you have the cash, you can do the 1,000 right now, or what some people choose to do is they'll split it up over the next 3 months, and you can maximize this program called Essential Rewards, and 300 just so happens to be this amazing number that when you do that, that's the minimum threshold at the top that gives you the maximum free products. It's really great. Have you tried that, or you guys usually just kind of stick to the 1,000?
We, it's the mentality where, like, if they want the top package, then the Essential Rewards, the 300 is going to be a top package as well. Like, that's just the mentality. Like, I just want to be the best top package on everything.
Right.
But going back into maybe even like just dollar wise, even people who do like the mid package, $500, to do the $300 package, or the Essential Rewards, whatever it is, each month.
Yeah.
That kind of just falls right in line with what they're doing. And you always have to remind people that if they're really looking at doing the business, compare it to what it costs to be into a brick and mortar, what the rent is every month, and everything that goes on with that. Look at the cost of franchises, and how much you have to have as far as like not only money to get started, but also liquid money to like back yourself up because they're going to ask for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the things that go into that as far as like commitment time, like hours, like how many hours you need to put into being like the best Subway manager ever.
Yep, 100%.
And you have to remind people about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I was in I sold my club. I had 2 fitness clubs. I sold one last year, and I went through the whole evaluation process. And unfortunately, when I started my gym, I didn't have an exit plan in place, and I worked with a coach, and Sean Greeley actually from NPE, and he said, well, there's 3 exit plans. 1 is you go bankrupt, 2 you sell it, or 3 you die. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's pretty harsh. And he's like, well, that's the truth. So you either plan out your exit strategy, so you're going to sell the business at profit, or you're going to go bankrupt, or you're going to die. Because basically, if the business closes, then that's bankrupt. You're shut down. And so as harsh as that sounds, I didn't do that at the beginning. My simple point is that when they looked at the evaluation of it, they basically use a $30 to $90 per square foot build out. So in simple terms, if my club was 3,000 square feet, which it was, that means at $50 a square foot it would take in order to rebuild it. So that's to build it, to start from scratch. So that's $150,000. Whereas my bigger club is 9,000 square feet, so I'd need $450,000. Let's say $100,000 to do the leasehold improvements, like paint it, make it all nice and gym looking. Put $150,000 of equipment in. There's $250,000. You need $100,000 to have on cash in order to float the business until you get to be cash flow positive, and then you still have another $100,000 and just other things that you're going to need. So that's $450,000 just to start a gym, and you have to get to the point where you can turn a profit to then pay yourself, and hopefully you can cover your payroll and all that. And anyways, it just getting into that, it makes this look so much easier. So now easier from the standpoint that it's not as much upfront risk, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I've owned a gym, you've owned 2 gyms, and there's always a stat that like scared the crap out of me. It's within 2 years, 90% of all small businesses will fail.
Yeah.
Period. So it's like only the top 10% are going to make it after 2 years.
Yeah, they don't.
So
they
it's
don't
like
it.
So do you want to invest $2,000 to see if you can make it after 2 years, or do you want to like invest $1,000 and roll with it?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's pretty straightforward. Well, we get it, and I think if you're those of you guys listening, thinking, okay, how to put that in perspective, and I think really just the big take home, if you're thinking, okay, I'm an employee at another company right now, or really you're either a subcontractor, sole proprietor, or you work for a big company, or maybe you're self-employed at home, but that's like a sole proprietor. But either way, it just kind of puts it into perspective. And when I first listened to Eric Worre's training, GoPro, and he talks about the different types of opportunities, blue collar, white collar, self-employed, and there's other different, couple other things that he mentioned. And he's like, you talk to any small business owner, they're not just hoping to get their investment, to make a return on their investment, they're hoping to get their investment money back, the money that they put in,
Right.
you know, in the first place. So all that to say that just it supports the fact that Young Living's amazing, and to really reinforce what you said about the different packaging. So I have some people, I don't know if this is, you're willing or able to, because I'm totally asking impromptu, but people were asking about that PDF. Is that something that is accessible or that you're able to share, or is that, what is that? Or a version of it?
You could do this. So I made a URL, because my daughter is a dance kid. She's actually very competitive. She actually made a very competitive high school varsity dance team as an 8th grader this year. So that's
cool.
like where she's at. It's nuts, but she's like obsessed. But if you went
good.
to dancegoodlife.com, this will bring up the Live Green, Earn Green site. So this is like what I'm hitting the dance moms with right now.
Dancegoodlife.com.
Yeah.
It's funny because the first thing I think about is Good Life Fitness in Canada. It's the largest fitness club.
Get a load of this.
Right.
Did you know?
I'll talk about this. You can just mute that. But when you opt in at the bottom, then you can, go to the other video pages, and the last page where it has the products, and they're all the same thing, but that'll have the PDF right there.
Oh, okay. So if people go in...
Yeah, so there's no cost. It's just, plug your information in.
Okay.
But I will tell you this, that this information comes back to me because this is part of my Diamond Factory system.
Yeah.
So if anybody does this, put, after your name, put YL behind it, so I know that, you guys are just checking it out.
For Monty, not to go harass him.
It's not a prospect that I need to, get on a call and go, hey, I just saw you. You just checked out my website, whatever.
Yeah.
What do you think? I can show you guys this do your thing and check it out.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Well, thank you. So Judy and Linda, they were asking, hopefully that works for you ladies. And I'll just pretend that they're clapping like this on the other end of the computer.
Right, and I can hear it too. Yeah.
So I can't see them. No, that's very cool. So there was dancegoodlife.com. And then, so to kind of, I know what's going on here, but just in case everybody else, now if you're watching this, I understand that you might be listening to this because the majority of these calls have actually mainly been audio. And then now I am trying to work it in because we have people asking if we're going to show stuff just to see it, because this is going to be up on YouTube and on our YouTube channel, and are continue to get some good traction. But this is working as a redirect. So you went to GoDaddy.com and registered for the URL dancegoodlife.com. So that's a nice little clean, we call that a clean link or a URL. And then in that, if you use GoDaddy or whatever internet hosting company or domain registration company you're using, you literally can go into that domain and then say forward, and then you would take that little, be part of the Live Green solution. So that's you, right? Obviously.
Yeah, so that's, obviously that's like a long thing to tell somebody what to go to.
Right. Right. So if you,
just keep it simple.
dancegoodlife.com, and then see it just basically does
Get a load of this.
A quick little redirect, and so then people can actually go to that. And then, so this is like so this is an example of, just to clarify this for me again, pardon my ignorance, but it's the Diamond Factory training.
System.
Or the system. And then the Diamond Factory training is this one here that we talked about with all of the other education.
This system is like a marketing system, and training is just recorded lessons and training sites.
Right. Okay, cool. So
and then somebody said, I just saw one of these things that popped up about, they're in Diamond Factory training, but they might want to get it to check out the other thing. If they went to, I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. One of the easy ones. GetMyOwnDFS.com.
Yeah.
That's the information for that.
Okay. So that's where they would go if they wanted to get set up, getmydfs.com.
Yeah. And just like anything for options, there's two basic options. There's it's just a subscription. It's monthly.
Is that the right one?
One is, no.
Get my
own. You missed own. Get my own DFS.
Okay. So
I can't believe I can see that from there because I have that screen minimized.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, cool. Where's that video? Is that? Oh, right here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, well, that's pretty cool.
Yep, so that's the information there. There's a PDF that shows things. But anyway, like there's a basic one is $19.99 a month US.
Yeah.
And that has the 2 done-for-you sites plus the contact manager. One of the sites is that Dance Good Life one that you have showing on screen right there.
Yeah.
And the other one is we just made it for business, like 10 tips for business, whatever. And then the $49.99 a month one is like the whole shebang. Like there's, oh my gosh, we keep adding stuff. It's like, I think there's over 40 different landing pages, maybe close to 50. We have stuff that's like not only for marketing, but also for people who are like new to you or new to your organization this month. They send out postcards. There's already like stuff that's set up for that, bookmarks, whatever. But there's a link in those postcards for like new people to like see like how they can be like the best product user ever.
Yeah.
How to like just kind of like dabble in the business and how to go like turbo fast. But the cool part, I mean, obviously the business is cool, but I mean, you gotta face it, but our commissions are based on consumers and product users. So with the product user and bringing them down this, because they have like 3 options, bringing them down this pathway of being the best consumer ever.
Yeah.
There's videos, like I think there's like a box of like 9 videos. We talk about all kinds of different product lines, and I've heard stories where somebody was on the website, they were doing their Century Awards at the same time, multitasking people, and anyway, they changed the order like 8 or 9 times because they didn't realize that Young Living was more than just oils and like beefs.
Right, right.
So like they're looking at stuff and going, man, I just started working out. It's cool. Zool stuff is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Doing this, doing that. Oh my gosh, look at this zing. It's like, it's not going to save the world, but man, it's like better than any of the other bubbly stuff out there.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So that was where again? That's on one of the landing pages, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a start page, is what we call it. Just help people get started.
Right. Okay. Well, that's cool. So
yeah, so we've been like super busy. Like honestly, we've spent more time doing the training site and the marketing system site than actually building. But we're at the point now where it's like, hey, everything's in place.
Right.
We don't need like make anything more complicated. I think it's simplified enough. We have enough options.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go back. Yeah. Well, I had somebody in my upline said that to me too. Alan Simpson. He's like from Australia. And he's like, it's great, like great idea with the summit. He's like, what's this going to do for building your business? And I said, well, I mean, but the plan is that, we use it. And at first I was like, well, actually directly not. I mean, we use it for our team, but it's been more just the fact that because I've had people question me, like, what are your intentions and motives and why do this? Like, why not just focus on building your business and you should just quit the summit and just focus on building your business. And I'm like, yeah, you should just quit giving your opinions to people when they don't ask for it. Well intended, but say that with a smile on my face. But like from the heart, I didn't mean that in a bad way, but on the other hand, I'm kind of like, I appreciate it, but I've had people message me after I said that, and they're like, thank you for not listening to them because we really appreciate it. And I just think that when you look at the Young Living community with everything that we have to offer, I think that the one challenge is there's a lot more, it's busier, the community has continued to grow and the company grows, but not everybody resonates with the summit. There's the Doc Ollie has the symposium now. And very similar to our event, there's Diamond Factor System, there's these other ones. And so I think to say this just very humbly and candidly, that when you guys are listening and watching this, trying to find out the solutions, this is just like if I was a coach, and I am in fitness, and Monty, I have a feeling, would say the same thing, is that there are different ways to get fit, but you just have to find the one way that works for you, that you'll stick to it and do it consistently, and get fit, right? And just judge by results. So if you use either from the summit or these systems that you guys have and the summit that we have with the education and the app that we're building and all that stuff, it's all great, but it's only great if you use it, right? And I know I've been guilty of that in the past, and so I think that the nice part is that you have it, but sometimes having the system and then not really using it is worse than not having the system at all. However, not having it and not using it is worse. because you're not having it. You don't know what you're missing out. And I mean, I know what it takes to build landing pages and registration pages and all that stuff. And what you guys have created is pretty awesome. And it's simple and clean and easy. And it's something that you can...
Also, if somebody already had this done and we asked around, like, is anybody doing this? Is anybody doing this?
Yeah.
Because if somebody already had this done, we would have not done it. We would have just jumped on board with whoever else
was doing it.
So
yeah.
That's what we did.
Yeah. It's cool. So
it was a lot of work.
So thank you for doing that.
Same thing with like the Monday night calls. It's like one of our coaches gave Jen advice like 2012 or 2013, like don't make it just a team call. Open up into the entire Young Living group organization.
Right.
And Jen's like, what? She dragged her feet for months, and finally she's like, all right, fine. And she started, putting the word out. And now it's like we have. If you look at the platinum group, there's a lot of platinums that we've had on the call, and it actually kind of stings a little bit because there's a lot of platinums who started from ground zero, and they actually give the Monday night call all the kudos for their success because they listen to new people, they've listened to corporate people. We've had people on who have nothing to do with Young Living, but they're just great coaches or somebody like that, and then obviously silvers up to Royal Crown diamonds, people who have a message, and they always tell you that there's some sort of stepping stone they had to get over, or some sort of obstacle they had to get past, or some sort of personal growth issue they need to get over before they move to the next step. And it's you're reminded about that so that when you hit a roadblock, you're like, this sucks, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, I think I'm just going to quit, I hate my business, because we all go through it.
Yep.
If you have that in the back of your mind, wait a minute, those guys did it.
Yep.
They got over it. They admitted that, they weren't sure about it, but they kept moving forward. It's well, if I keep moving forward, I can do the same thing as these guys who are at the top.
Right.
Period. It's if you have that kernel in your head, you can keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic with the Monday Night Call, because the people we have on now, it's really? You did that?
Yeah.
You did that from just what?
Yeah, from the calls, yeah. That's
and
pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But, it's the same thing. It's the summits. We're doing it every single Monday. And I don't know, we've missed a Monday in a long time, except for maybe one Christmas.
Yeah.
But the people we meet and the people we have on are oh my God.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. And they always have a different, little tidbit or gold nugget or kernel that's
It's like a little, like a little take-home piece. So if people want to listen to those again, remind me where those are. I feel like I already know the answer.
They're in factory training.
Okay.
And they are on, so they're everywhere.
Okay.
So they're in Diamond Factory training. They're underneath the Monday Night Call modules, and then I broke them up into Jen and me and Tom Talon, and now we have Mark Schroeder, who's now Marco Gentili. He brought his original name back. So he's on there, every last Monday of the month for products.
Yeah.
Which is super fantastic because that guy knows more than you even want to know.
I know. He's. I talked to him at convention, and he's about this close to going on the summit. He wants to do it. He's like my buddy says from Nova Scotia. He's like a fart in a mitten. He's everywhere and nowhere at once.
Yeah, totally.
He's just so smart.
But also, so besides Diamond Factory training, where we have all the calls archived, also it's in Apple iTunes.
Okay.
If you just search Diamond Factory, I just say Diamond Factory because I don't know if there's an ending to that or not, system or training. SoundCloud, and there's a bunch of other sites, but that's probably the two big audio sites would be Apple iTunes and then SoundCloud. Yeah,
well, what we should do, we'll have to talk about this after, but I just thought about it, and when we get the app built out for the summit, it's going to be, the easiest way to explain it is Netflix and Audible and Oily Tools meets Young Living. And we're going to have different kind of channels. So if you take Netflix...
Aaron told me about this at convention. I still, I was like, what? I don't get it.
Yeah. So think of the Netflix part comes in because it's going to have a place to be able to watch, read, and listen to all the content from the past. That's easy on the go from the cloud or download to your device so you're not chewing through your data. And then the Netflix, so that's the Netflix part. The Ottawa part is where you can do the same thing and listen, but we're going to be making it so that you can share. So when you're listening to something, you're like, oh my gosh, I got to send this to Billy on my team. You can go in and you can just email or text it to that person, and then they have a time period of when they can listen to it. So when they click on the link, it'll expire within 36 hours or something, or if they don't click on it at all, it'll expire in 5 days. These are just the preliminary ideas, but that's the basics of it. And then because the big thing that we found with the summit was that people were like, it was great, it was awesome, but or I missed it, I wanted to do it, but I was just completely slammed for the 2 weeks and couldn't make it. And or they purchased it and the flash drive went missing, and that's been the story since they purchased it. And so we want to make it easier to share. And so I was just thinking, where I had this vision to share it with Sarah Harnish as well, to get like her boot camp to make it easier for people to consume it and take the Monday night calls, and we would essentially make a channel on that app so that people can just download the app, and it would be for free. At least this point, it might be like $1.99 to download the app or something like that. But then it makes it so that all that stuff that you guys have out there will just be able to make it easier for people to listen to. I'm not like it isn't already, but that's just something else as an added extended convenience factor, right?
So I was going to say, if you're doing these interviews and you're putting them up on YouTube,
yeah,
maybe, because I know YouTube chews up a lot of data on your phones, have you looked into YouTube Music, which is like easier on data because it's just the audio, it's not so much the video, even though half the stuff that's on YouTube is just like one like picture and then like the audio.
Audio, yeah. I haven't yet, but I'd like to get it out there to make it so that people can just listen to it as well.
Yeah, because that'd be awesome. I don't know how you do that. I just saw that it's an option. I have it like in my phone now, but
yeah,
I'll have to figure that one out.
Yeah, we could probably do that on SoundCloud or something too, and on iTunes. I just haven't got there yet.
Yeah, good luck with iTunes.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I say that is because Andy Jenkins told me that he has his stuff on iTunes, and I asked him how he did it, and he said, I don't know. He goes, I just had somebody do it, and they don't know how they did it. It's like, all right. He goes, it was like really hard.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'll do it. I feel like I'm somewhat tech savvy.
Yeah.
And he was right.
Yeah.
It's like you just throw it out there, and you just like keep throwing. Like, we have like content. Like we had hundreds of call content, so we just like kept throwing it out there, throwing it out there, and eventually it just popped up on iTunes, and it was like, oh, here we go. It's all set up. Sweet. So obviously, if you have some serious content and you have like a serious following, somebody in Apple is like monitoring who can be on iTunes and who cannot be. Like if you're legit and you have tons of content, you're
right.
in.
That's right. Yeah.
Because there's no like magic formula on like how to set up iTunes and your podcast.
Right. Yeah. I guess never thought of that yet, but we want to get there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say good luck because it's the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain is the one that's doing it.
I'll take the challenge.
That's what I did.
So before we wrap things up tonight, I'd love for you to tell us what is your plan for this year. So kind of give people a little bit of a teaser for those that are listening live, and they're going to listen to the call in the next little bit when it goes up. What's your topic for this year?
So the last 2 years was like pretty intense as far as like how to like be social in networking groups like the Chambers and BNIs and different networking groups.
Yeah.
And then last year was Diamond Factory, everything pretty much, mostly Diamond Factory training. So it's like information heavy. This year, I'm making it light, and it's just mantras and affirmations for men using essential oils.
Cool.
Because it's something I do every morning. Like every morning, I put like 1 to 10 oils on my feet, rub them together. I love to use the blends because it's easy to make a sentence, and I have that in my head the entire day because at some point. Usually I wear toe shoes like Vibrams.
Yeah. At
some point, I need to refresh my shoes, and so I do this again. I get the repetition. I know what the smell is, and I have that
fragrance,
that intention, that mantra, that affirmation in my mind. So it kind of like it drills it in deep.
That's cool.
And it could be like a long story, or it could be just a short, like 3-word sentence.
Yeah. Yeah, because Andy Jenkins and Les Wright, and I think Birchfield started the essentially equipped group for guys. in Young Living, which is cool because there are a fair percentage of us that are out there as guys that are building Young Living and growing. And of course, it's a female or woman dominated business, or majority of everybody who's in Young Living tends to be females. You can tell that when you go to convention. But I think it's cool because most of the ladies that have a guy in their life, husband, father, siblings, whatever, it's great to share the oils, and it's cool hearing it coming from another guy. So that's going to be pretty neat.
And this guy is specific. Like, there is no, like, toning down lady talk. It's, like, just talking to dudes.
Dude specific. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good. So all you ladies out there listening, you can make sure you share that with your husband. And the best part is, we don't know what day you're going to be on, but anywhere between October 1st to the 14th. I can tell you that much. And you'll be able to share. And we are actually adding one new element to make it a little bit different this year. And trying to make it a little fun and creative. And now I feel the positive pressure, like I think Young Living, I'm like, how are they going to step it up next year from this year with all the product releases and all this stuff, and just thinking of the constant innovation that they're up against. And so I feel that in a slight way with the summit to continue to keep making this better and better for the experience. And the one thing is, last year we had it where it was, for the last 2 years, that they'd have the first day for 24 hours, day 1, and then it goes down, and then day 2, and it goes down, and then day 3. And it was, most of the support tickets that we had, incoming calls and emails, was about, hey, I came in day 6 and I'm missing day 1 to 5. And we're like, I know, because you're on the current day, and then you have to pick up where you left off. And we're like, well, that's not fair. And we're like, hey, it's free training. Like, you get in as much as you can for now. But we're just like, you know what, we're going to set it up so that if people come on late on day 7, they can go back and watch all the previous days, so that it's basically, it'll build for the 14 days, but it's only going to be up for the 14 days, and then it'll go down. And then we move into our, like, the membership.
That would be fair, though, because think about how many people are mobile university people where they listen to stuff in the car.
Yep.
Even if it's just your phone and it's like earbuds while you're driving. Because I drive for 500 to 1,000 miles like every other weekend.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So I don't listen to the radio. I could care less. I mean, sometimes it's fun to dumb out, but it's always like something on YouTube, something that's on a podcast.
Yep.
Something like that. So if you're doing that kind of deal, people can get caught up for like the last week.
For sure.
That's their downtime, and they can do that. So I think it's like totally awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that way it just made me really from an administrative standpoint and logistics, it's going to make it a lot easier for us, and just easier for people to listen to just say, hey, go in there, get and get it done. And then the people that see the vision that want to... What's that?
Well, that's emails to handle too.
Yeah, well, the emails, we're still going to be getting out the new content like every day, saying, hey, these have been added, but we won't have to do it where, like, hey, like day 1, because it was the timing of what time and what time zone was it getting cut off, and when did day 2 disappear, and when did day 3 start, and was it, it was fun.
That's like a nightmare.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, but I just brought that up just because we want to make it better and better. So I'm looking forward to listening to your presentation and watching and learning and growing from that as well. And we're excited about that with the summit. And we basically have set it at $149 for a year. It's an annual subscription model. Now it's going to be, or $14.95 a month. So it's like very simple and easy, and that anybody can afford it. And then that's where the cool part, that when you look at the Diamond Factory system, the training, the summit, that when you really use it and let the nuggets, as you referred to it earlier, the wisdom that is contained in the presentations and the calls and the training that you guys have, you're going to glean something from it. Because I find that I can get through listening and even sometimes watching content more than I have been choosing to discipline myself and sit down and read my books like I used to before I was married and had 2 kids, soon to be 3.
And time.
And yes, and time. So yeah, so that is that. Any final words of wisdom or closing comments you'd like to make to everybody?
The only thing is, if somebody wants to get on the email list to figure out what's going on at the Monday night calls, there's a website called OurSimpleTraining.com.
Yeah.
And I think it's just great, like, just plug in and get your email down, and Jen usually sends out the emails on Sunday night or Sunday afternoon. The calls are always Mondays, 7 p.m. 6 or 10.
Yeah.
And every week is usually it's a new guest. Sometimes she'll change it up and do products like after convention. It's like they're all good.
Yeah, they are good. Yeah,
because it's just like you. It's like, I mean, the pressure is like, how do you make it better? Well, I think part of it is just staying consistent.
Yeah, I agree. So I think that
there's 3 websites.
That's awesome.
Little teaser on the next summit I'm doing.
That's great.
That's gonna be a totally fun one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good. Well, say hi to Jen for me, and watch out for the mold, and try and stay warm in Minnesota. And everybody else, thank you so much for joining in with us live. Appreciate it. And if you're listening to this after it's a recording, then that's awesome that you invested the time you're listening this entire time. And go to ylsuccesssummit.com. You can go there and actually sign, or pardon me, at the time of this recording, YLSS2017.com, where you can go pre-register for free. We're in the 8-week countdown, and get ready for the biggest online free training that has come to Young Living. That's 100% dedicated to Young Living, because there are other events that are out in the market that are kind of they're positioned for everybody, which is cool, but I wanted to make sure that we had something for us as in Young Living. So look forward to seeing you guys in this year's event. And again, Monty, thanks for your time. Tell Jen thanks for letting you spend time with us.
Actually, it's like, thanks for letting me use the office for like the 1 hour of the day. It's a bit busy.
Protective.
One pop-up was what was the last URL, and it's OurSimpleTraining.com.
Oh yeah.
So there you go, Barney.
All right, that's awesome.
I love talking to you, no matter what we do. If it's the calls, the summits, whatever. Like, these are always good.
All right, well, I appreciate it. I felt good about myself before, but now I feel even better. I'm going to sleep like amazing tonight. Thanks, dude. All right, thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you guys soon.